How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Welcome to this week's edition of Should You Summon? And the banner in question is misleading. It's an amazing banner, a phenomenal banner, but the pictured hero is Lynx, who's not bad at all, and I do think could be quite tremendous in Guild Wars. But holy crap, is the image here burying the lead? And is Moonton not understanding how to properly promote things and make some money for themselves? Jeez Louise, this is the Elowyn banner, baby. Elowyn's had maybe 5 or 6 rate-ups in the history of the game, in my opinion, including Lords, if you're talking the full progression of the game. Pound for pound, Elowyn is the single best hero. Full stop. I really don't think there's much more to it. She does multiple support things and healer things that no one else is capable of, literally has the capacity to do, and that combination makes her the most unique and powerful hero in this game that can fit into every single piece of content. So though this is the Lynx and Elowyn banner, and actually the epics are kind of exciting for a new account because you have some chances to get greed or maybe some greed awakenings. For any later game stuff, end game stuff, you will need your greed at A5, so that's kind of huge. But we're not going to talk about the epics. We're not going to talk that much about Lynx. I just put out an entire video about Lynx, kind of with the idea that this video would be more focused on Elowyn. So go check out that video. But we'll touch on her a little bit. But Elowyn, man, I mean, she is the creme de la creme. I'm very much of the opinion, if you don't have Elowyn, all your decisions, when you don't have Elowyn and you're thinking long-term for the game, all your decisions should be about how can I optimize my summons and my saving for when Elowyn's banner comes, and then blow it all on the Elowyn banner. Aside from going for 200 guaranteed limited exclusive heroes, that's how I would approach it if I wasn't lucky enough to have her. She is the most game-changing hero in the game. To me, she's more important than Ingrid, more important than Praetus, more important than Sung Wukong, than Diao Chan, so on and so on, all the top heroes. I do think she's that good. The key thing to note before we get into the nitty-gritty with this, the really overarching theme, because I don't want everyone getting lost in the sauce here, when it comes to Elowyn, you just need Elowyn. Her A3 is really powerful. This gives her cleansing, some debuff dispel from her basics. With a good build, this is very, very powerful, especially since her basic attack is a 3x hitter. It will go and it will heal 3 allies, so it's a multi-target. That being said, as amazing as that is, and if Apocalypse 3 ever comes, it could be really necessary. As the game stands right now, A0 Elowyn is more than enough. So I'm telling you this because if you already have her, I think unless you really love Lynx or you're really keen to maybe keep up with potential GVG metas, which we don't even know if Lynx will be that yet, but she just has the potential to be a very strong GVG hero. If you're not that person in love with GVG and wanting to hop on Lynx early, that came out wrong, and you already have Elowyn, it's a hard skip. It is a hard skip, in my opinion. So I am going to skip this. Unless they announce like an alternate Lynx skin, or if I get my diamonds early and I get a real happy trigger finger, but almost certainly I will skip this banner. That being said, if you don't have Elowyn, I think this is the hardest yes imaginable to a banner. Really, really it is. So let's get into it. No hex intro or anything. Let's go to my tier list. You can see Elowyn, there's only 10 heroes in the game. I give triple S. I am going to update this within the next week or two, as soon as I can. And we're also going to introduce double S. I even added the functionality here, so you can see that is an option. Now Elowyn moved, but we have double S. So the way we're going to do it is currently on the website, 5 Lords and 5 non-Lords, so 10 heroes total, can earn the triple S designation. It's like a gold star next to their name. What I'm going to do is add another 5 Lords and another 5 non-Lords that can get double S. So in total, it'll be 20 people with special designation. I do not allow for triple S or double S in individual content categories. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. I like S plus being the highest. Triple S and double S are just special, award prize designations for the heroes most deserving in terms of overall quality. And no one, in my opinion, no one is more deserving than Elowyn. So right now with these triple S, it's sorted alphabetically from Ardia to Valderon, and then you can see the first S plus is going to be Ajax. But if this was in terms of like quality, if it was 1 to 10 of these triple S's, in my opinion, Elowyn is the best hero in the game. So Guild Boss 1, she enables a ton of really cool stuff. She's just off meta. However, as you start developing out your account, you can get away with a non-laurel cycling strategy, especially if you just want to hit an easy 50k. Elowyn makes that happen. She has to be S+. She is a step below Hollow for the meta right now, but that doesn't mean she's not good enough. She is. Guild Boss 2, she's kind of completely irreplaceable. You could get like 120k on APOC 2 without her, but it's mind-numbingly difficult in comparison to doing it with her. There are other better dispellers. Well, there's really one, Dasami, but outside of that, Elowyn's the best. A3 Elowyn is right there with Dasami, and combine that with the best passive Rage Regeneration in the entire game, constant extra healing you can get from her Wood Elf, phenomenal. Gear Aid 1, this is the best Rage Regen you can get map-wide, especially since you're not taking such consistent damage, so Hollow can't keep up as well. Even though Hollows, I would also give S+ in Gear Aid 1. Gear Aid 2, she's again just off meta. You don't really need much special healing, especially when you get to the later stages, if you do the Volca Polka like I like to do. So just use a tanky kind of healer, which Elowyn can do, but you don't need the Rage Regen, so might as well just bring someone with shields like Gwendolyn, or of course Vortex, or maybe just an HP-based healer, or just bring like a Diao Chan or something, someone with reductions to make the build easier. So that's going to be Gear Aid 2. Gear Aid 3, she is phenomenal. Map-wide Rage Regeneration. We'll go over all that in a second, but it's just amazing. Both Gear Dungeons, she is best support in the game. Unmatched. This is actually a good moment for us to talk about her passive. So Gear Aid 5, twice in the past week or 2 weeks, I've had an account where I went to do their Gear Aid 5, Gear Dungeon 2. Those are the two names we got for it. And they had Elowyn, so I was like, we're good to go. And I did not think to check her passive, Nature's Favor, to see if it was skilled. Because why wouldn't it be? She's the best hero in the game. Nature's Favor is the best skill in the game. I couldn't imagine it wasn't skilled on these very late game accounts I was on. And I think people are like, oh, it's just a passive, who cares? Let me explain the difference between Nature's Favor being skilled and not being skilled. So when it is not skilled over here, right, you can see, you can click on it. It is 0.2% rage per second. It is 1% of all allies map-wide, 1% of their rage cap. So if it's 800, then it's 8 rage, right? If it's 1200, then it's 12 rage. It's 1% every 5 seconds. When you skill this up, it is 1% every 1 second. It is 5 times stronger. The difference between 1% every 5 seconds and 1% every 1 second, yes, it is 4% over those 5 seconds. However, just watching it happen, go back and watch those old streams. It is the difference between easily clearing content and content being much harder than it needs to be. This is the best skill in the game. Nature's Favor applies Rage Regeneration to all allies on the battlefield every 5 seconds. This eventually comes out to 5% every 5 seconds. It's 1% a second when you skill it up, compared to 1 every 5 seconds. 1% every 5 seconds. This is map-wide. All Elowyn needs to do is be on the field somewhere, be on a tile, be on a platform, hanging out anywhere. No one needs to be in a range, nothing. Every single deployed ally will benefit from this, and it is constant. It is as powerful as anything in the game. Combine that with the fact that she's got this big, amazing AoE heal that spreads out to like this off-shifted Vortex Hollow Gwendolyn Dasami range, where she's kind of here, then you get the row behind and the other stuff in front. Combine that with the fact that that comes with a huge bursty dispel in that entire range, and she gets her Wood Elf, which can be placed on any ground spot, any melee tile on the entire map. She's amazing. She's just so amazing. I can't say enough about how good Elowyn is. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. AMR, she's phenomenal for me, especially for the later stages. She's one step behind a Pharisee or a Hollow, but she's still great. Even Dasami, I'd probably pick over her, not for the cleansing, but that inspiration in the longer AMR fights is underrated. Void Rift, best hero in the game, full stop. It's her and Diao Chan. Those are the queens. Campaign, couldn't be better. Esotericist faction trials couldn't be better. Healer Codex on every top team in the entire world. Styx Codex, every top team in the entire world. It's all for the rage. Her rage is that good and it's constant. Arbiter Frost, every top team basically, unless they have the absolute meta crazy DPS and they don't want to bother with her, but she's that good. Torrent, she enables a ton of great strategies. She still gets an S there. Guild Wars for BP. This is something we still need to update because we split Guild Wars, so that should be coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks as well. They split the defense and the BP rating, so she's S+ for defense for sure. BP, I don't know where she'd come in, maybe a B. the one demerit on her. She doesn't have the highest BP like most healers in this game. Single target, just phenomenal. Honestly, she's kind of S plus for that. AoE and anti-air, she's A. You can just see. It's just a line of gold. She's the best here in the game. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me on that either. Maybe they'll, especially if you exclude Lords. I really don't think anyone's arguing with me. So why am I going on and on? Why am I telling you this? It's simple. It's always a gamble if it's not a guaranteed banner. However, we get enough free stuff in this game, free to play, knowing a guaranteed banner, a 200 exclusive, like what we had for Kagiri, Wukong, Diao Chan, the three most recent examples. You can 100% save up for those. I did it easily, like 3 weeks into my free-to-play account, maybe even less than 3 weeks. I was able to get Diao Chan and then some. I did like 350 pulls on that banner or something. You're fine. If you save up, you can always hit those guarantees. So after that, your world becomes, what are the banners I'm going to gamble on? Where am I going to take my chances, right? You're going to have more summons than the 200 that you need every 6 to 8 weeks when an exclusive limited banner comes around. There's no better chance to take. There's no better banner to invest in and take that 20% chance every time you get a legendary, hoping it's a certain hero than there is with an Elowyn banner. There is none. There is none. Assuming you don't have her. If you do have her, all these points are moot. Yes, if you want to go for A3, that's fine. But getting that first Elowyn copy, nothing can transform your account more as you progress through the game. So you might not find Elowyn being the most useful. It'll be amazing. But the most useful here on the game when you're early or mid-game. But once you get to that next part where you need to beat all the 21s, and then once you've beaten those and you need to max out those gear dungeons, you need to do APOC 2, you need to try to get through the nightmare that is Void Rift Epilogue. It's Elowyn. Officially becomes the full-blown Elowyn show. You want to get triple S in all your codexes. It's Elowyn, baby. She is the absolute queen. So, 200 summons in terms of rare summoning crystals and diamonds every 6 to 8 weeks should be set aside. You should plan for those to be for the limited banner. Everything else, if you don't have Elowyn, in my opinion, unless you're really early and you just need to fill out your roster, everything else should be going towards when Elowyn's banner pops up every 3 months or whatever it is. It's here now. If you have some stuff saved, and if you're a spender, if you want to spend a little, it's a good time to do it, right? I think on average, it's between 3 and 4 legendaries pulled. You'll need to hit between 3 and 4 legendaries on a banner when it's a 15x to get the rate up you're looking for. It can easily be 15, or you can get it on your first try. Try for it. Honestly, if you don't have Elowyn, this is your moment. Greed is great. You need Awakenings. You need a May 5. You can just use Soul Stones. So we all get them for free on day 28. So I wouldn't go for this banner for Greed. Lynx has a ton of potential for Guild Wars defense. I talked about it a ton in my video, so go check that out. I didn't really talk too much outside of that. From the limited testing I've done, her damage seems pretty good. I don't know how high the potential of her damage is. She's not going to be any kind of world wrecker like a Silas or a Sargok or a Yovar, not even a Yuri, anything like that. She's not even going to approach those guys. Yuri, I'm calling out because she's like the queen of progression. And then her DPS becomes good, but not world breaking like a bonded Silas or something later on. That is not going to be Lynx, not even close to any of that group I just mentioned. But when it comes to some damage, which could scale pretty well as we experiment more, but certainly immense crowd control and really pesky crowd control, she seems really good. However, Winter's Bite and the annoyance that is Winter's Bite, the peskiness, the peskiness of Winter's Bite and the frustration it brings, I only see that shining in any immense way in Guild Wars defense right now. Torturing your GVG opponents when they have to go up against her with a Yemerit or her Yemerit and a Nora. That's kind of how I see it, and I don't see the rest of her damage as strong enough to really set her apart from just being maybe like a legendary version of Mari. However, Mari has a very controllable burst AoE freeze. Mari has amazing vulnerabilities. Lynx doesn't have any of that. If you also think about with Lynx, she's a Northerner. She doesn't have any dual faction and Piercer, so she doesn't get any extra range for any of those special Marksman levels, even though she does do piercing damage. I think she'll be viable in more than Guild Wars defense, but that's the only place as I go through her that I see she's going to shine. Because after that, it's just like a spammy hero with a ton of crowd control. You already get that with Mari, and then all those vulnerabilities, and you get more control. So I think if you're not really interested in Guild Wars defense, it's not the time to go seek Lynx out. I think in general, you shouldn't be seeking her out at all on a banner. Who should you be seeking out? Elowyn. Queen Elowyn. She's the best hero in the game. Her skin should be coming really soon as well, which if you got that anniversary selector ticket or redemption ticket, we're all going to get it. So that's pretty fun. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you're pulling tomorrow. I've been Fastidious. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.